The school hallway was crowded with noise, laughter, and the usual teenage chaos. But suddenly, everything fell quiet when a group of bullies cornered a shy farm girl named Emily. She was small, reserved, and never fought back. Her twin sister, Hannah, had just transferred to this school after years away. What nobody knew was that Hannah wasn't just any farm girl. She had spent the last decade serving as a decorated Delta Force operator, a legend among soldiers, known for her courage and unmatched combat skill. The bullies thought they were about to humiliate another quiet country girl. Instead, they had just picked the wrong twin. Emily had always been the gentle one, the caretaker of their family's farm after their parents passed away. She preferred books, animals, and the quiet life of the fields. But her soft nature made her an easy target for cruel kids who mistook kindness for weakness. That day, one of the bullies shoved her books to the floor, mocking her calloused farm hands and dirty boots. "Look at the cowgirl," one sneered. "Bet she smells like pigs." Emily's cheeks flushed, but she stayed silent, lowering her head. Before she could pick up her books, another girl pushed her against the lockers. The entire hallway buzzed with whispers, and phones began recording. Emily's heart raced, not because of the pain, but because she hated feeling powerless. But at that moment, a voice cut through the tension, calm, strong, and filled with fire. "Touch her again, and you'll regret it." Hades turned, and there stood Hannah. She had the same eyes as Emily, but carried herself like steel forged in fire. She was taller, her shoulders straight, her jaw set in a way that silenced even the boldest kids. The bullies scoffed, not realizing who they were dealing with. "And who are you supposed to be?" The ringleader laughed. "I'm her sister," Hannah said, stepping closer. "And you've made a very big mistake." The bullies weren't intimidated at first. They had strength in numbers and believed intimidation was enough to win any fight. One boy lunged forward, aiming to shove Hannah the way they had shoved Emily. But Hannah didn't move like a regular girl. In a blink, she sidestepped, grabbed his wrist, and twisted it behind his back so fast that the crack of his shoulder made the hallway gasp. She let him go before real damage was done, but her message was clear. Hannah didn't come to the school looking for trouble. In fact, after years in the military, she had wanted peace and a chance to reconnect with Emily. But seeing her sister bullied ignited a fury inside her. She remembered all the times Emily had written letters from the farm, never mentioning the bullying but hinting at loneliness. Hannah had fought wars overseas, but this, defending her sister's dignity, felt even more personal. The bullies, stunned and embarrassed, tried to laugh it off, but Hannah's eyes locked on each of them, steady and unshakable. "Strength isn't about hurting people weaker than you," she said, her voice echoing through the hall. "It's about protecting them. And if you ever touch my sister again, you'll answer to me." Word spread like wildfire. The new girl wasn't just tough, she was something else. Some whispered she must have military training, others swore she moved faster than anyone they'd ever seen. Emily, meanwhile, looked at her sister with tears in her eyes. She had missed Hannah deeply, but now she realized her twin wasn't just her family, she was her shield. But Hannah didn't stop with intimidation. That night, she sat with Emily on the porch of their farmhouse under the fading sun. Emily admitted how long the bullying had gone on, how small and invisible she had felt. Hannah listened carefully, then took Emily's hand. "You don't need me to fight your battles, Em. What you need is to remember how strong you already are. You've been running this farm, holding our family together. That's real courage." Emily shook her head. "But I don't know how to stand up like you do. You're fearless. I'm not." Hannah smiled gently. "Fearless doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you choose to stand anyway. And tomorrow, you will." The next day at school, the bullies tried again, not with Hannah around this time, but with Emily alone. They cornered her by the cafeteria, sneering, waiting for her to cower. But Emily remembered her sister's words. Her voice trembled at first, but she held her ground. "You don't get to treat me this way anymore. I'm not afraid of you." Her stand shocked the bullies. They had expected silence, tears, maybe running away. Instead, Emily looked them straight in the eyes. One bully tried to shove her, but before it could escalate, Hannah appeared. This time not to fight, but to watch. Emily held her ground without flinching, and the bullies backed off, realizing their power had slipped away. The hallway erupted with whispers. For the first time, Emily wasn't seen as the shy farm girl. She was seen as someone who refused to break. Hannah's presence had inspired her, but it was Emily's courage that finished the battle. In the weeks that followed, the bullying stopped. Some of the kids even apologized, realizing how cruel they had been. Hannah didn't just scare them, she changed the culture. People began to respect Emily, not because of her sister, but because she had found her own voice. On the farm, the twins worked side by side, stronger together than they had ever been apart. Emily learned self-defense from Hannah, not just for protection, but to build confidence. Hannah, in turn, found peace in the quiet rhythms of farm life, healing the scars of war. The story of the farm girls' twins spread beyond the school, whispered with awe. How a Delta Force legend stood up against bullies and taught her sister to rise. But for Emily and Hannah, the real victory wasn't the fight. It was the bond of sisterhood, unbreakable and stronger than any battle. And when people asked Hannah what lesson she wanted others to remember, she always said the same thing: never mistake kindness for weakness. Sometimes the quiet ones are the strongest of all. The school bell rang, and the halls flooded with students. Emily clutched her worn-out books tightly to her chest, weaving through the crowd like a shadow. She hated attention. Every day felt like walking into enemy territory, not because she was weak, but because she was different. She was a farm girl. Plain clothes, muddy boots, and hands that bore the marks of hard labor. To the city kids, that was enough to make her a target. "Hey, cowgirl," a tall boy sneered, stepping in front of her. "Lose your horse." Laughter echoed through the hallway. Emily kept her head down, hoping to slip away. But another girl snatched her notebook and flipped through the pages, mocking her sketches of farm life. "Look at this. Barns, chickens, tractors. What are you?" "5. Emily's face burned, but she said nothing. She was used to this cruelty. She bent to pick up her scattered books, when suddenly she heard a voice, calm, firm, and dangerous. "Put that down." Now, the crowd shifted, and there she was, Hannah, Emily's twin sister. Same brown hair, same green eyes, but everything about her screamed strength. She carried herself with the kind of authority no teenager could fake. Hannah wasn't just Emily's twin. She was a Delta Force operator, fresh from years of missions the world would never hear about. The bully laughed, tossing the notebook at Emily's feet. "And who are you supposed to be?" "Her bodyguard." Hannah's eyes didn't flinch. "I'm her sister, and you just made a mistake you won't forget." The boy tried to shove her, the way he did with everyone else. But in less than a second, Hannah moved, fast, precise. She caught his wrist, twisted, and he dropped to his knees with a gasp of pain. The hallway went silent. No one had ever seen someone move like that. Hannah let go before breaking anything, but her voice was sharp as a blade. "You think strength is about picking on the weak? Try that with someone who fights back." The crowd erupted in whispers. Phones were raised, recording everything. Emily stared at her sister, wide-eyed. For the first time in years, she felt protected. But Hannah wasn't just there to fight her battles. She had a deeper mission. That night, the twins sat on the porch of their farmhouse. Emily confessed everything. The years of bullying, the loneliness, the feeling of being invisible. Tears slipped down her cheeks. Hannah listened quietly, her hand resting over Emily's. She said softly, "I've faced war zones. I've gone into buildings where I didn't know if I'd come out alive. But you've held this farm together all by yourself. That takes a different kind of courage. You're stronger than you know." Emily shook her head. "Not like you. I could never stand up to them." "Yes, you can," Hannah replied. "Strength isn't about fists or fighting. It's about refusing to let anyone take your spirit. Tomorrow you're going to stand, and I'll be right there if you fall." The next day, the bullies tried again. They cornered Emily in the cafeteria, smirking, waiting for her to shrink. Emily's hands trembled, but she remembered Hannah's words. For the first time, she lifted her chin.